Our own language provides the foundation for literacy development. English language learners need daily opportunities to practice English in order for their literacy skills to flourish. Today, we find people speaking the Queen's language only in formal occasions or when need arises.
Local languages, which has great influence in the manner in which we handle and speak the English language. One thing that I've noticed is that the Cameroonian society is so much imbibed in the use of the Pidgin English, which is very common in every little community and which serves as, I want to use the word unquote, lingua franca, that bridges the life of the English-speaking Cameroonians and the French-speaking Cameroonians. I think this has a lot of influence on the manner in which we speak our English. And many people need to agree with me that of recent we have many Englishes.
Nigerian movies at times, not saying they are bad, no, they are very good, but at times we should watch over the language which is being spoken there. Come back into our schools. At times we have teachers in school who don't really know good English, and they are teaching our children. When the child comes home, Mommy, I didn't know that this, some worried in the ear.
Pidgin English has become the order of the day. Everywhere you go, you will find people expressing themselves in the lingua franca or the newly developed franglais or camfranglais.
We can agree that Cameroonians are not native speakers of the English language. We are just like adapting, getting a foreign language.
This is not an exemption in school premises and workplaces. Half of the population, consequently, seldom master tenses. A clear proof is when world occupants call a tooth teeth and louse a lice.
Lice is a plural word.
Lice is plural form. The singular form of lice is louse.
Lice is a plural form. The singular form of lice is louse.
Lice, L-I-C-E. That's the plural. I think it's a plural.
Lice is the singular form. Plural form of lice is loose.
The language has I've witnessed falling standards that cannot be disputed. Reason being because we have refused to learn. There is an adage that holds that learning ends the day you die. People are neglecting that. And so when you arrive at a certain status, you think that you have arrived the apex. A teacher goes into class without preparing their lessons and get embarrassed by a student's question, and you automatically start insulting the student or hitting the student for nothing. You should read. When you read, you increase your vocabulary.
We also witness serious pronunciation problems since people express themselves only in formal occasions. Words like meh, pa, and challenge are usually pronounced mayor, power, challenge.
There are some universal standards that are acceptable in terms of pronunciation, in terms of diction, in terms of spelling, which is very common across the globe. And one thing that I've noticed is, which is causing the falling standards of English in Cameroon, is that many Cameroonians do not read. We do not take time to develop our language skills. We take it for granted and depend only on the little bits and pieces given in the classroom.
Any youth who wants to build that standard in grammar, build that, should develop the habit of reading books, building vocabulary banks, and in that way they will be able to be fluent in writing, in reading, and they will be able to familiarize themselves with certain key vocabulary words that they can use in everyday expressions.
These days, university graduates barely formulate constructive sentences due to the occasional use of the Queen's language.
It's just the fact that some people want to say more than they know in the English language, so it poses a problem, especially when it comes to malapropism. But in all, everything is fairly used.
You find tenses are mixed up, causing ears to bleed literally.
There are some schools which have never had an English or a French teacher. If you go to the Francophone region, you will find schools that have never had an English teacher. If you go to Anglophone regions, you'll find schools that have never had a French teacher. So I don't know how the government can manage this in such a way that when teachers are posted to their place of duty, they go there. They don't just go there like that because the government just says, you go. But there are means of survival that are lacking. That is why sometimes teachers are posted to places and they never go there. To cut a long story short, I taught in a lycée where I had students in troisième who were having me as their first English language teacher, and this was in the town of Garo.
The use of lingua franca is seriously detrimental to the practice of English language, thus favors the sleeping standards of the Queen's language.
Very, very detrimental. Very. I think we should try to avoid speaking Pidgin. Normally, it is a language that's used as a lingua franca, as you just said, in situations like in the marketplace, so you can use that language. But it's not good to be used at home or in our environment or in school. It's not advisable to use that. And we as teachers, we should avoid using that with kids too, with our students, so they learn from us.
I think we should focus more on, practice speaking the language. Okay, at least adopt. We don't have to speak like British or Americans or Australians, but at least if we can practice what we call RP, received pronunciation, which is English spoken by the middle class British. Okay, which is what we are promoting in our classrooms. Okay, then that will be fine. We can sound quite international enough to be understood by whoever, wherever.
Nationals working together will go a long way to achieving this goal. But just how ready are citizens to beat this challenge, robbing English language speakers and experts of the pride of fluently expressing themselves in the internationally acclaimed commercial language? A brilliant question I put to every speaker of the Queen's language.